Hello, hello, hello. I always have to figure out where I'm going to put this mic. Cool. So we're just kind of building a new track today. Just kind of playing with the idea of having this ARP be doing something a little less traditional. So maybe I might do just 3 notes. Bring it up a bit in tempo. Maybe a bass line. Stereo cable to mono adapter for the OP1. Oh, sweet. Good to hear that. One thing that I should also bring up in today's session, if you will, is that I'm going to be experimenting with this new ARP transpose LFO in hopes that I've talked about using LFOs to generate bass lines And I think I was just overcomplicating things a little bit. And this time around, I am just going to, instead of turning on this every time I want to have it on, I'm just going to have it by default on, and then I'm going to choose the length to be like a 16th note here. So now, whenever I hit a note, there should be, if this is, right, so the depth is going to decide what range of notes I'm choosing. And I'm also going to set this to one of these two, because between triangle and inverse triangle, the first note is always going to be the root note that I'm selecting. So that'll just keep me grounded a little bit, like, oh, okay, if I want the regular note, I'll know that on the one, that is the regular note. And then I'm going to give myself an E minor. Right, so I can adjust the speed to get a different baseline. We can give that a little bit of delay as well. We can increase the speed a little bit. 128, sure. And what's interesting about this strategy is that I can actually adjust a single LFO, and I think that just throws off the entire the rest of the sequence, which is a good and bad thing, you know, like if I I'm glad you like it. Oops, I just realized I had saved on a existing pattern. Poopy. Let's go to 8, paste that over, and copy this pattern. Did I just clear the pattern too? Oh my god. I think I just checkmated myself. Hate when that happens. Well, it wasn't too much to reconstruct. Yeah, so this is actually a copy paste of a different pattern. And who knows where the other one went. Shit! Okay. Okay, let's just do this real quick. This needs to be here. I'm just gonna do a 4 on the floor. So one thing that's kind of fun about this is, you know, this is the way the pattern sounds now. The moment I add a new pattern with a speed adjustment on the LFO, it changes the rest afterwards. It's a very quick way to change up your pattern. So, what if I choose this to be 1 every 4 times? Suddenly I have a very quick adjustment to the pattern. Right, so right there, that's when the LFO changes it. Faster? Nah. We're gonna keep it at 127 today. Sometimes it's kind of hard to gauge the relationship between bass and kick right now in my headphones. And check this too. You know, I can do another adjustment, which is 6 out of 8, which is going to mean that like way back later in, you know, this 8 repeat version of the sequence, we have another adjustment, then we get a whole nother pattern. So listen for that 6th time. Here's the 4th time. 6th time. Right? Didn't see where the first pattern was running the ARP every time, but then you change the next pattern once every 4 times. Notice the switch over between patterns. Yeah, so basically, this pattern is exactly the same except these 2 trigs. This trig adjusts the LFO speed, and that affects the LFOs after it, the wave that's applied to these notes. And then this one also does it, but it's the 6th time out of 8. So you kind of get some weird variations. You could even set this to be like, you know, 20% of the time or something. So if we were to listen to it back one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 5, 6 again, 7 and 8 are the same. Except for that one break here, so. think we're on the 1 now. 1, 2. Basically just copying over this pattern to the next one. having some second thoughts about the bass line, at least for this this go round. I think I might want to play with just something a little bit more static, so that I can focus on the pattern itself. Just a second while I locate my MIDI map for the Minotaur so I can map the release real quick into my Octatrack. There's no MIDI in for the Minotaur here, so I have to know the value itself. Decay is 29, so we're gonna set this to 29 because I want it to be an instant stop on that one note. Oops, it's 24. Doesn't sound like release. That sounds like... I think I did do it wrong. Hold on. I think it's actually 29 actually. Okay. Also my ARP is on, so that might be a problem. Yeah. A little too aggressive, I think, personally. Changing the tempo one more time to 124. I'm back. I'm interested again. Okay, that's nice. Saving it for later. Kind of into that too. Yeah, so I'm just creating a transition here. I want to start with this. Yeah, basically all I'm doing is I'm setting up this pattern so that it stops immediately when I get to that, because I want to create a new kind of feel to this track and I don't want that loop to continue. So I'm starting with this, and then once I go to this next pattern, hold on, 2 more bars. It was supposed to end. What's the best way to do that? Start silent. So go to pattern settings, track 2, start silent, yes. We're gonna wait another 4 bars. 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Then the same thing is gonna happen for this rhythm here. In this case, since we're on pattern 2 already, I can set this to a new pattern, which is, don't know if I want that one. Too jerky. Not at all what I want. That's not quite it either, because it's a little too slow. I mean, I might as well just keep this at 128. Sorry. because a lot of those tempos, well, I might as well slow it down a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go to this. We're gonna choose a new pattern or a new sample to play. So I want a breakbeat type drop here. So we're gonna go to old school. Let's go with this for now. I'm gonna have to do some more just studying how those breakbeats work before I start playing with that a little bit, I think, because I'm not fully experienced with what is going on with those patterns. But I mean, I could also experiment with it, but cool. Another thing you can do with this, very simple, go down to fifth. Yeah, so if we're just working in pieces here and I was going to critique what was going on here, I would kind of be like, where's the drop? You know, it's just kind of like, just kind of goes into it. How do we do that? Maybe we add a filter to this loop. Maybe we increase the reverb on this. Right? I think I don't like the full removal of this rhythm. I kind of would rather it filter up a little bit more and then maybe go down a tiny bit. I feel like maybe like some kind of vocal shout. Not sure where I can find that. I should have just like a pack of them, just like I have packs of other stuff. Sorry. Let's see here.
Like sick.
I think I know where I can find some things like that. Let's go to here. It's tricky because I have to search my files. Sample the yawn, yeah. Yeah. I was looking more like a, hey! Like some kind of person shouting, hey, would be nice. But a yawn would also do. Just pitch it up or something. I have a set of samples that somebody just sent me of just like, from my quarantine stuff, self-isolation. Here we go. Annabelle and her friends sent me this file that I need to just search through and find little... Eerie. Playtime 2? I'm pretty sure this is like a straight up song. Yeah. It's very witchy stuff. Not sure if that's exactly what I'm looking for right now. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope this is interesting to you. That's pretty cool. Second most common question. Number one most common question is, how do I hold this Octatrack up? That is and for those of you who are wondering, it's a laptop stand by Pile Pro. Second most common question is, how am I syncing the OP1 with the Octatrack? The answer is manually, and sometimes I fuck it up, but I enjoy doing it manually just because just kind of keeps me sharp when it comes to knowing, how to time these notes. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, Dawson. Glad to have you. Nick is right. That is the third most commonly asked question. And I'm trying to, I don't know if you guys can tell, some of you might have seen this before, but I'm trying to show a little bit of restraint when it comes to adding chords, just because I think the more notes I add to these projects, the less interested I get in them. And that's obviously a sweeping generalization, but I do kind of feel like there's less room for me to play around with patterns and stuff when I have notes crowding everything. So I've been just being a little bit more discriminating when it comes to what I throw in note-wise. I think like performance-wise, it's great. It's something that I can add on top that really adds a lot of character to what's happening. But then the moment I start trying to save it into the Octatrack, then I'm like, I get a lot less interested in what's going on. And one way that I might try to combat this is I was trying to use the ARP to create chords. If I have a ton of reverb on it and I give it just a full mix, no dry. Yeah, so this Korg is super great. All it does, I mean, it does a lot of things. It has two main sections. One is the synth, which you can choose your synths. Sorry, let me turn off this reverb real quick. Really good synth. Shaping abilities. And you can actually import a lot of synth sounds from, I think there's some kind of parallel between using like the mini log, the monologue, all of the Korg synths. You can actually import those synths into here. So the synths on this are incredible. This thing's like $100. You can import new programs and stuff using a, you know, semi well-designed app. And also like some web interfaces. There's a filter. Let me go to a different one. There's a few filters you can choose from. ADSR. So that's the synth section, which I haven't been using a lot because I haven't taken the time to plug a MIDI to 1/8 inch in here. But the other thing that I've been using it for, which works really well with things like the OP1 and the OPZ, is taking an aux cable, going aux to aux, and then taking the headphone jack and sending that into something like the Octatrack. Because then this becomes essentially a reverb delay pedal. I haven't had a ton of issues with noise. I'm also not like an audiophile. Yeah, so I haven't really noticed a ton of issues with the noise level. The OP1 also has some noise, but I think you can fight some of that with, you know, paying a little extra for a good aux cable and things like that. I just don't really tend to care a ton about that. And I actually got this because I was looking for a monotron delay, and I was like really interested when I saw this guy doing like an acid set on YouTube. And I will just go ahead and credit that person by linking their video here. I was super impressed with the way that it sounded, and they were just using it on like the snare or the bass, and it just sounded really good. So I started looking into that on Reverb, and it's like $60. But then somebody on Discord was like, yo, you should check out the Korg NTS1, because not only does it do mono delay, it also, you know, like I could take let's do a finger pattern. This is what I did on Monday. And I think I was doing it with a hi-hat type thing, like this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so if you guys want to hear a cool masterclass on, not masterclass, but just a really cool set involving some basic tools. So this person's using like a analog heat, a TB303, Tanzmouse drum sequencer thing, and 2 monotron delays. And they use the delays like it's an instrument, and I was pretty impressed. They also have a cool Bandcamp, so check out that in their description. But that was kind of what interested me in having some kind of delay unit. And then on top of that, I've always felt that the best sounds on the OP1 are processed through reverb. So you end up with a lot of really cool, like a lot of these sound kind of flat on their own. Then you throw some reverb on it. I'm actually just kind of curious to take this somewhere all of a sudden. I should probably start a new section, huh? Copy, paste, paste. I also do chorus, which sounds great. some loops that I can play with here. I am in California. There we go. Much better. It's like an acidy thing right there. What is that? That's one of my favorite things to do here. Seagull sitting right here. I'm not liking how it... I feel like this needs to be faster. Cool. Yeah, watch my videos. Some of my videos are pretty old, actually, so some of the advice might be outdated at this point. Because, like, I don't even use some of the things that I said before, but it's a running diary of how I've experienced. Get some crazy sounds out of this. Well, that's awesome. You do sound design. I dabbled in sound design in college, actually. You know what I want to do next? I want to buy knobs on one of those websites like DJ Tech Tools or something and get the actual knobs that you can turn, because these are just a little too tiny. Oh shit. That's so cool. Because all I have to do is change the number of... So I have this, you know, two beat sequence here, but I actually reduce it just by one step, and then you get these crazy rolling patterns. there's this thing that lets me choose patterns to create, layered. It's basically a graph that shows every note on this keyboard and then runs along it. And I haven't. This is probably my least used art besides the sketch one, which is just not something that I use practically. But one thing that's cool about it is you can change direction. You can make it go back and forth, back and forth. Cool. I'm into that. I actually feel like the bass isn't really doing very much for me. I'm kind of into that actually. That's some like really good, yeah. Okay. Shit, I gotta keep that. Glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for hanging out. What's kind of interesting about this thing that I'm doing here is I can actually be recording it as I'm playing it. I think if I hold shift and I start adding stuff in. Oh, it's going the other way. Oops. So I can erase it like that. Oh yeah, I'm recording that. The other thing is I've been collecting these samples into the Octatrack, and oh yeah, I would love if the Octatrack could record every track one by one. That would completely change my world. I would have so many songs right now if that happened, which is really too bad. And I'm sure, maybe they'll work on a solution for that. Maybe. I hope so. I feel like there's just like get more than one Octatrack. So, but I was just gonna mention that I'm probably gonna offer these as like a sample pack because I keep saving these record buffers, in this project. And I'd like to kind of curate them into a set of sample packs that you guys can download over the Patreon, because I'm just trying to figure out ways that we can keep sharing this music with each other. And then likewise, I'm also looking into using the Discord channel that I'm putting together to submit samples, and basically I would have like my phone here and I would load the file and just sample it directly into the Octatrack, which would be kind of fun. So let's switch this to the record buffer. We got a 4-bar loop. Every octave of this is like something that I want to have. Yes. So I will put together a sample pack of all the things that I have, and I'll just like name it, up until this point, these are the samples, and then kind of just keep uploading. Yeah, it's interesting. Today I'm using two things that I've had this OP1 for 3 years? No, it's got to be more than that. Maybe like 5-6 years. And two of the things that I use the least are the drum synth, which I honestly should use more, but I just, when I first got it, I knew nothing about synthesis. And then this sequencer. But I'm really happy with where this is going. Two, two, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Twitch just banned DJing? Is that true? As in, like, is that because of tracks? Like, people using tracks and then they don't want to have to track down all the publishing and all that? That's probably why, because people were always saying, like, oh yeah, YouTube is, like, so much more of a stickler for tracks and Twitch is better for DJing. It was probably just because Twitch wasn't catching up to the fact they have to deal with all that bullshit. I'm gonna have to record this one too, because it's great. I'm gonna find ways to use this, for sure. I want my friend Tolliver to just rap on some of this stuff. And Def. Maybe Annabelle could sing something on it, but we'll see. It's very weird. I'm about to sign off, but I'm just having a lot of fun right now. Okay, I got lost. Well, thank you very much, y'all. I am going to peace out. And I thank you very much for hanging out and, you know, providing suggestions and chatting and sort of just building this small community that is people who are obsessed with this machine. And for me personally, I don't know many people like actually geographically near me who know about this machine. So this community has been really cool to get to know. So thanks again for your interest and your excitement. And I'll see y'all on Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. PST. And yeah, check out the Patreon. I'll link it in the description. Cheers. Have a good rest of your day.